Hey everybody, welcome back to Reluctantly Productive. I'm F Baby. Today we're taking a look at a Wrothgar farming route for the Guilds and Glory event. This farming route is going to start you at the Morkel Plains Way Shrine, and you're going to head northwest, but not too far west. You can see on the map that there stop being resources out on the ice sheets, which makes sense. I don't know why there would be anything besides water out there. But yeah, you're going to head north and then kind of keeping to the west. And then you're going to hit this place up here called Faerun Keep. It's not a way shrine. And then you're just going to start working your way back to the east and down. So kind of like a southeasterly vibe. It is a little easy to get lost in Wrothgar. It's not the most navigatable place, at least for me. And the problem is that the map is laid out at a diagonal. So when you're heading north, you're actually kind of heading like a northeast already. And so, yeah, I got confused a couple times filming this route. It happens to me every time. But you want to stay in this northern part in general because there are less overall farmers. This is a worse part of the map to farm, but I think in terms of available resources versus competition, this is a much better spot. The southern part of Wrothgar has long been known as a good silk farming spot, and I'll probably make a video about it at some point in the future. I personally don't like to farm Wrothgar for anything but treasure chests for selling Briarheart gear, but that's my personal preference. I don't think it's a bad place to farm Ancestor Silk, and like I said, I'll do a video about it one of these days, but ideally you'll be able to collect a good chunk of change before, especially off-peak hours, before anybody else really has a chance to interfere with you. The good rule of thumb for Wrothgar is the farther south you go, the more likely you are to run into people. So we try to stay to this north part and avoid the people who are just going to the Great Plains Way Shrine and then running around in a circle. And so, yeah, that's it for the farming video. Oh, actually, I guess that's not true. One thing I wanted to mention, I've gotten a few questions about this, so I will, in a future video, kind of highlight each and every one of my add-ons individually. But as a just quick getting started, you're going to want harvest maps. That's what you see that puts the pins on my map and puts the pins on my compass and marks resources in the world. And then farming party is the one I show at the end that shows you kind of like just the net value of everything that you've gathered. And then Undead's Harvest Summary and ESO Farm Buddy are two other add-ons that I use in my videos. The ESO Farming Buddy, I think is what it's called. I'll have to double check. But that is the one that you see on the left of the screen here. Undead Harvest Summary is a little bit more robust in that you can actually copy and paste item codes in. So if you're trying to farm, I don't know, like if you're trying to farm specific mushrooms or something, or something that isn't necessarily easily listed, it's also a little less obtrusive. But yeah, you can do that. You can copy and paste an item code in and it'll let you track that item specifically. But like I said, I'll be doing a video about my add-ons here in a little bit, or maybe not about, but it'll be at the beginning of a farming video here in the future. But yeah, that's it for the farming video. I suppose those of you who are just looking for what the route is can kind of click off here. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And then in terms of a book review, like I said in the last one, I'm going to try to do more book reviews because I want to talk about things I've read. This week, or this video, I want to talk about Tess Gerritsen's The Spy Coast. Came out last year. Spoilers, I guess. I don't think I'm going to spoil anything, but just in case, it is a thriller mystery and there's a chance things could be spoiled. I did not know that this Tess Gerritsen was a well-known mystery writer. I've never heard of them before. As such, I kind of thought, I dumbly thought, I was like, ooh, I'm going to support a new author. And then I was talking to my wife about it, and she was like, yeah, that person's been writing books since Borders was a thing. My wife used to work at Borders. And so, yeah, either way, I've never read any of their stuff. I found this book to be pretty enjoyable overall. I think I gave it like a 4.5 on Storygraph. The only two reasons I knocked it down even half a star is I was able to kind of guess what the twist at the end was, and I don't usually try to toot my own horn and say like, oh, I figured it out. I'm not one of those people who sees the preview for an M. Night Shyamalan movie and then has to guess what the preview is to show, or what the twist is to show how smart I am or anything like that. It's more that I don't think it was particularly well hidden, which means it was well telegraphed, which is good writing overall. It's just I figured it out, and I figured like most people could probably figure it out about halfway through the book. And my other knock, and this is something that is debatable, I think, to most people, this is something that bothers me, but I don't think it's necessarily the wrong thing to do. I don't like when an author overemphasizes one character trait in a character. I'm very impatient in that way. So if you have a character, for example, that is really strong, you can tell me that he has big muscles or that he does something big or that, you know, she's able to endure like crazy things or lift something above their head that they shouldn't be able to. But I don't need it described to me over and over and over in the chapters. And in this book, there are two characters who who clearly have had issues with men in the past. They find men to be useless and manipulative or just in the way. And that's fine. I'm all for it. I generally agree. But I also didn't need to keep hearing it from those two characters like through 6-7 chapters. It's not like long diatribes, so I'm really kind of like nitpicking a little bit there, but it's just something that stood out to me is I was, I think, 3/4 of the way through the book, and one of the characters was still like, ugh, men, right? You know, these guys suck. And I was like, I get it. You know, I get that this character has, as a law enforcement official, this character has dealt with tons of men who are shitty, who talk down to her, who have treated her as less than, but we've established that. And I think that we can move on and not necessarily need to have that in the book. Again, it didn't really detract from anything. It's just something that I personally don't like. I kind of have the same problem with George R. R. Martin's writing in his writing of Tyrion. We get it. He's conflicted. He's smart. Nobody treats him as an equal. Why don't you write me another passage about... Actually, George R. R. Martin, why don't you write me anything? That would be fucking fantastic. Write anything in the Song of Fire and Ice series. I'm gonna die before he dies, and I'm gonna die before those books come out. He's gonna live to be like 150 years old and never finish this series. Anyway, Tess Gerritsen, Spy Coast. It's super fun. Obviously, if you don't really like mystery thriller type stuff, this is not gonna be up your alley because that's what this is. It'd be like recommending a John Grisham book to somebody who doesn't like the style that John Grisham writes in. It's not a thing. It'd be like recommending Stephen King to somebody who doesn't like horror. So if you don't like that stuff, then obviously don't go for it. But otherwise, this is fun. It was a quick read. It took me maybe a day total to finish. So I'd recommend it. And I think that if you're into that sort of genre, you would really enjoy it. Well, here we are at the end of the route. As you can see, we gathered a good amount of stuff. I was planning on looping all the way back down to Morkel Plains, but I got an idea for a different video, and I wanted to make sure to record that footage while I had the time. So that's where we're at. This is a generalist route. You shouldn't worry too much about getting too much of one thing or the other. Just collect the resources you can and get your boxes. And that's it for me. Thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you have a good day, or if your day's going badly, I hope that it changes quickly. And I will catch you in the next video. Thanks.